Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Ghosts and Giggles. I'm Liz.
And I'm Allison.
And I'm a mess.
I'm
And
still Allison.
welcome back to an... You are still Allison. That's great.
Is it?
Welcome back to an episode of Giggles. Ay, what a start we have. We got a cattail. We
No, it's her
got
paw.
misspeaking. Oh, my bad.
It's like every time I start this, they're like,
I
what
can't.
can we do?
I can't, dude. Oh, my
Oh my
lord.
gosh.
All right. Well, anyway, today we're going to have a fun little Giggles episode for you all. Yeah, is there anything you want to start off with? Anything interesting or...
I'm trying to think. I have one funny story from this week I can tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, first,
Okay.
I can give you a dog update. I give the dog cookies every
wonderful.
day. And the other day, I tried to give her a cookie and she didn't want it. She just wanted a hug. Is that so cute?
Oh, that's so
And she just
sweet.
like grabbed me and pulled me in. I was like, do you want the treat?
I love that for that dog. Oh, you
So-
gotta figure out what that dog's name is, by the way.
I've named her in my head Missy.
Missy?
Yeah. I think the person that lives there speaks Chinese. So she probably
Okay.
has a Chinese name and I don't speak Chinese. So I always think that's very
Right.
funny because I think this dog speaks a different language. So when I say, "Hi, pretty girl," like,
Oh my
"Yeah,
God.
you sit," blah blah blah, like she's probably like, "What you're saying?" Isn't it crazy that there's like some animals out there that know more of a different language than you?
Yeah, no, I think about that with all the animals here in Korea. Like, I'll pass by stray cats and I have to go, "I'm sorry," like when I see them because they
Yeah.
might not understand hello. So
Isn't
I have
it
to talk to
crazy?
them like they're a little kid in Korean.
Years ago,
It's
Scott
so
and I
weird.
went to Amsterdam and we went horseback riding and they had to teach us all the commands for the horse in Dutch. And I was like, this horse knows way more Dutch than I know.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, my boyfriend's cat, his cat, like, I always think, like, I ask him, I'm like, does your cat even know any English? Like, if I said, like, sit or hello or, like, anything, like, would he get it? That was so funny. Oh my God. It looked like Lila was just, like, waving really quickly.
She
I
also
loved
just tried
it.
to put her paw down so she could sit like this, but she kept putting it on top of all of her other paws.
Oh,
Such a weirdo.
your cat is
Don't
so
hit
cute.
me.
Yeah, but
I
like
say
I've
she's like, hit
met,
me.
that's all right. I've met Young's cat, I think like once. And I was like, hello, like, aren't you so cute? And like, blah, 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 whatever, right? And I think his cat understood like a tiny bit of English, which is interesting because I don't think he speaks to his cat in English besides like when we're on the phone and I want to like
Yeah.
say something. But yeah, I don't know. But like that cat knows so much Korean. He'd be like, "Anja" for like sit, and like the cat will sit down. And I'm like, but his cat is so cute and his cat smells really good and like loves giving you like little cuddles.
Cats,
And I'm like,
a lot of cats smell good. It's not like dogs where they
yeah,
kind of
like
smell
what's up with
bad.
that?
I
I
don't
hear
know.
that like dogs' feet smell like corn chips.
They do. Can
That's
confirm.
amazing.
I tested it
Love
on
that.
Charlie.
Incredible. Oh my God. I feel like we're always going to start these episodes talking about animals. Like, what's up with that?
So zebras.
But
No, I'm just kidding.
no,
That
we
was
know why. We know why.
my
Anyway, so today, go ahead.
I said I had a
I'm
funny
so sorry. I
story.
interrupt you so often. Just, I'll shut up. You go ahead.
So I'm doing work, and my students are doing independent work, and I have this girl that comes over to me, and she comes up and goes, "What work do you need?" Like, she says, "What work do you need to be doing?" And I look at her and I go, "Well, I need to make a lesson for this and I need to do this and I also need to work on like there was something with the report card, so I have to fix that. Then I have a meeting and blah blah blah. Then she looks at me, she goes, I meant like what work do we do when I said what work do you need to be doing? I meant like us as kids right now because I finished what we were supposed to do. I was like
Oh my God.
I basically oh and so me and her were crying laughing. I mean like literal tears in our eyes and I'm like why did I report to you like I'm your boss? Like you're my
Oh my
boss. And
God.
she's like I don't know. She's like maybe I am your boss. Maybe you just need to tell me what you do every day. It seems like you got a lot of stress off your plate. I was like, "Oh my god.
Oh, that sounds so cute. Your kid is
This
like
is
actually so mature.
they're so mature." She's the one that had made me text you that like she was like that she found you so pretty. Is that so sweet?
I literally read that comment. I think it was either yeah, it was the first thing that I looked at that day. Like I opened my eyes, went to open my phone, and quickly checked your message first. And you're like, my student just wanted to let you know that she thinks you're so pretty. And I was just like, that made my day, aka my day that just started.
It was
And
the
I was
best
just like,
part of
oh
my
my
day.
God. It
It's so
probably
funny.
was, to be fair, but like it was so cute. I'm like, oh, I love your students so much.
They're so sweet.
Oh, I know. My actually, I kind of have a funny story about one of my students. So, this happened somewhat recently, but I kind of forgot about it until we started talking about it right now. So, one of my students, he's one of my absolute favorites. Oh my God, he's so cute. He's like, he looks like a little model. He's so cute. And I've showed you pictures and videos of him before. He's the one that said,
Yeah.
"Hi, Allison.
He's
How are
so
you?
cute.
This teacher is my English teacher." He's so cute. I love him. Oh, he warms my heart. He can be a little troublemaker sometimes, but so there was this one day we like every week for like 2 days we'll do like worksheet packets, but it's like an activity packet. So they'll have a word search, a maze, a color by number, and then usually I'll give them like an extra sheet of paper when they're done, and it's like a spot the difference or something
Oh, dude,
because they
I'd
need
be
to have some
boss at
fun with
this.
English. Yeah, they need to
I'd be
have some
so
fun with the
good.
English that they're learning. And I figured like, oh, let's take a break from all the textbooks you do and like try to have fun. And so one of these word searches it was about like toys, I think, and I think I might have made it myself. And it said like game on one of them or whatever, right? Cuz like board games or video games. And we're sitting down and this student of mine is really slow with the word search. Like he doesn't put in the effort to actually look for the words all that often. So I'll have to like sit and be like, what does this letter start? Or like, what does this word start with? And I'll be like, okay, where's the like H? Where's the T? Whatever. And so with this word, he's like looking through all the words and he's like, teacher, help, teacher, help. So I'm like, okay, buddy, like, what word do you want help on? And he points to the word on the list and he goes, Gammy. I'm sorry. What did you just say? Teacher Gammy. I go, buddy, no. Game. And he's like everyone in the class starts laughing because I make like stupid faces to these kids. They're kindergartners, you know, they need like
Yeah.
over expression. So I'll be like, what? Like, are you kidding me right now? Or I'll be like, so all the kids are bursting out laughing and they're all just like, teacher Gammy, teacher Gammy. And I was like, "Ugh, just stop, y'all. Like, go back to it." And so, a few minutes pass and I'm sitting next to him and he's like looking for all of his words, circling them, crossing them out. And at one point he's like, teacher, help. And so I like get really close to his face. I'm like, what, Lucas? And then he just like stares back at me and he goes, and I just burst out laughing. And I'm like, oh my God, that kid is so funny without even trying. But the issue is once a child in my class is really funny and I laugh about it, all the other
It's
kids
done.
think that I must think it's hilarious. So they have to keep repeating it because it's going to make me laugh more. It's like, no, now you ruined the joke. You don't understand how to make a joke. You ruined it now. Now it's not
Welcome,
funny.
welcome
But
to kindergarten.
welcome to kindergarten. Yeah, literally. But oh my God, like he's so funny. I love him dearly. I just, ugh. Oh my God. I wish I could even just like say his name, but I don't want to like expose any of my students. I'm not about to do
Yeah.
that. If I ever say their names, they're going to be blurted out and I apologize, but like all of my students have English names and they're so cute. Like maybe when I'm not working there anymore, I'll like share some of the name stories because in Korea, there's a lot of crazy names that some of these students give themselves or their parents choose for them.
Like English or
But
Korean
that's
names?
English names. Like they
Oh,
all
okay.
have an English name for their English class. But like some of the ones that have been chosen before, like one of my friends told me that they had a student that oh, what was it? I forget if their name was like Lucy or something, and then they were like, "Oh, like Lucy, like what a cute name." They're like, "Oh yeah, teacher, like it's short for Lucifer." Parents named their child Lucifer for an English class. Like, I'm sorry, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely insane. But I'll get into those
Therapy.
stories another day because there's way too many.
Oh my
But
gosh.
anyway, I know you and I had a topic that we really wanted to talk about today. So
Yes, it
I
was
figured we should get
rocks.
into it. Yeah,
Rocks.
rock. So what's your favorite rock?
Sedimentary. I
You did
practiced for
it
like,
again.
I know.
You practiced in your
Sedimentary.
head.
I did.
Sedimentary. Yeah.
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
that. What's
It,
your favorite kind of rock?
that's nice. Um, I would say granite because we're from the granite state, but like that's
Ew,
too
no.
basic.
It's like on every
That's
single
like
counter.
I know it's kind of annoying. I think my favorite rock, I like a bunch of the crystals, but I don't know all the crystal names. But although, are those classified as rocks or would you separate them into like minerals?
I think
Or
minerals.
so we can have a
Wait,
separate favorite rock from minerals?
right? I
Are
mean,
minerals and
technically,
rock the same thing or are they
I
different?
think
I
so.
gotta look this up.
I think they're in the same category.
I think
So
they
one
might
of
be
Scott's
different.
old
Are
roommates studied
rocks?
rocks. I forget what that's called. Geology? Yeah, geology.
Oh. A mineral is a naturally occurring substance with distinctive chemical and physical properties, composition, and atomic structure. Rocks are generally made up of two or more minerals
Yeah, so they're
mixed
in
up
like the
through
same
geological process.
category.
So they're different-ish. Rocks are made of minerals, and minerals are not made of rocks. So they're technically different.
Welcome to our geology podcast. Okay, wait, no. I know what my
Well,
favorite type of rock is.
okay, what is it?
Big.
Nice.
What's your favorite type of rock?
I like lava rocks. I think
Dude,
they're
lava
cool.
rocks are really cool.
Do you want to hear something absolutely wild, actually?
I'd like to hear something
This just
tame.
reminded me of it. Okay, so the sky is blue, the grass is
Mm,
green.
yep.
It's the winter season.
Good. Okay, now I'm ready for something
Um,
wild.
okay. Okay. I'm so excited to talk about this. So I watch another podcast. Um, if you know,
Oh,
you know, it's called the H.
are you cheating on us?
So actually, this is my resignation. I would like to formally declare that I'm going to be leaving the podcast today, and it's effective immediately. Bye.
What if you just never came back? There's
Shuts
hours of me
down,
just
and I
like
like
sitting here.
Oh my God. So I watched a podcast called the H3 podcast, if you know, you know. And they were talking about like so weird way that I'm gonna segue into this. There's a huge thing about Stanley Cups right now in America. Like everyone's obsessed with them. And so there was a video going around on TikTok of a girl whose car caught on fire, but
This
her
is
Stanley
literally
Cup
that video
survived
is
and still had the ice in it, right?
and it's the reason I bought a Stanley Cup. No joke. That
Yeah,
video.
there's ice still jingling in the Stanley Cup after the fire. So the podcasts were like, "Oh my God, that's crazy. We have to test it ourselves." And like they tested it on like a barbecue and like burned the bottles and everything. The ice was still in it, but they were like, "This isn't a crazy enough test. Like we need to do something more." And they're like, "We need to throw it into like a pool of lava." And I'm like, "Oh my God, okay." So they're talking about like, man, we should like test it in lava. What if we go to Hawaii and like test if Stanley Cups can, bless you, if Stanley Cups
Thanks.
can no problem. You caught that well. But they're like, what if we just test that Stanley Cups will like still be flame resistant or like heat resistant like this and keep the ice. And so they're like making a joke about like, let's send like blah 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 to Hawaii to test this. And one of their people, their sound guy, Zach, he's like, well, if you go to Hawaii, you can't take the lava rocks back with you. Like, don't F with like the lava rocks and everything. Don't F with like Hawaiian rocks. And it was so weird. They're talking about like the queen or like main spirit of Hawaii, whose name I already forget, apparently will put a curse on you if you remove rocks from the island and bring them as a souvenir. And like bad things happen to people that they'll literally mail the rocks back to Hawaii.
That's
Isn't
crazy.
that crazy?
How
And
do
it's
you
like always
mail
lava
something
rock.
to
And I'm
the
like,
general Hawaii?
I know, it's wild. But
To
now I'm like, now I
Hawaii?
love rock.
I love
Now I love lava rocks. Now I love lava rocks even more because I'm like, that's so cool. They have a whole like mysterious air to them. I'm like, ooh, love it. You got spooky.
spooky, spooky dust.
Spooky. So spooky dust. I feel like we should talk about that actually. On the topic of rocks, real fast. This is, by the way, not the topic we wanted to talk about for the podcast episode.
Sorry.
And now it's going longer than expected, but I love it. So we need to talk about this though, because I think we should talk about it before it gets too late. When we went to Disney, one of the things I wanted to do for Allison on her trip for her wedding was I wanted to buy one of the little autograph books and have as
I
many
love
characters
it.
as we met sign it. We only met like 5 characters. There were basically 2, if you will, or like 3. But the first person that we got to sign the book was like the only one that mattered in my opinion, besides Anna and Elsa. But the only one who actually mattered, which was Peter Pan. And the reason I
Did you
can't
just
believe I'm gonna get
diss?
into this right now.
Wait, the only one that
I'm
actually
sorry.
mattered? Did you just diss Peter Pan? I mean, did you just diss Anna and Elsa?
No comment.
This is my resignation.
Okay. Oh my God. But anyway, so gosh darn it, I can't believe we're already getting into this. It's like one of the very first podcasts we're filming, and I'm just like, so let me talk about why I'm so infatuated with Peter Pan. Like, anyway,
Is it
so
because of that movie with that guy that everybody's like, this is who I first had a crush on?
no,
Oh,
it's
okay.
literally cartoon Peter Pan.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that movie. I was just
I don't,
asking. It's like a thing on TikTok right
I
now.
know, no, I know. It is a thing. And I'm like, no. So, no, I didn't like that kid. So I have a thing for Peter Pan and like the last time that we had gone to Disney World together, we got to meet Peter Pan, and it was a beautiful experience. We got a fabulous photo with him, and like it was one of our favorite memories from our trip. So this time around, we didn't even expect to be like meeting that many characters, but he was the first character we got to meet, and we managed to like run into his line like as it was, like happening. And so we like walk up, and it was beautiful. I don't even how did the interaction start? Cuz I don't remember it. You should explain it while I go grab the thing.
Okay. So we
Explain it.
were meeting Peter Pan. We run up, and it's me, Liz, and Scott's best man. Don't ask. I don't know why he was at my bachelorette. Anyway, so we run up, and Liz is like, she's getting married. She's getting married. And so
Yeah.
he's like, why? And we're like, I don't know. He's like, why? And we're like, well, I love him. He's
He's
like,
so uninterested. He's just like,
why?
why would you get married? Like, ew, adult.
So, like, fast forward, we're doing that why thing. We kind of like go back and forth. We laugh. And then he looks at Liz's necklace and he
This
goes,
one.
what's that? We lose it. Because he asked if
He's
it
like,
was
oh, is
pixie
that your
dust.
fair? Yeah, he's like, is that your pixie dust? And we're like, both of our eyes go wide. We're like, ah! Like, no, no, it's
Liz,
not.
there, there are bricks from the Lizzie Borden house in there. Me,
If
Liz,
you're on
Shauna,
video,
and
please look.
Megan each have one. It's like a friendship necklace now. So he's like, what is it? Is it pixie dust? Is it pixie dust? And we're trying not to laugh. And Liz goes, no, it's bricks from the Lizzie Borden house. Now, thank you. I got water service.
Nice.
And Liz goes, no, it's bricks from the Lizzie Borden house. Now the CM, that's the cast member that's with Peter Pan, loses it. And they're supposed to like kind of be calm and collected. She has to turn around. She has
Yeah.
tears in her eyes because
She's
it was just like the
cracking
most
up.
random thing because we're like, well, it's a murder house. Like
We're like,
we
have you
can't
ever
like
heard of the Lizzie Borden house? It's
we
kind of
cannot
spooky.
keep it
Yeah.
together. And he goes, oh, it's spooky dust.
Oh my God.
That's
It was one
all
of the
I
most
call it now.
beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful Disney memories that's ever happened. And like, listen, if you ever get a chance to go to Disney World and meet Peter Pan, he's so quick-witted. He's so funny. Like, I am obsessed with every single person that's ever played Peter Pan in Disney World, Disneyland. Like, they are so funny. And so this guy is just like, oh, it's spooky dust. And we're like, yeah. And our whole interaction lasts for like a super long time too, which is fabulous because we thought we would just walk up and be like, hi, she's getting married. Can you sign this book for her? Thanks. Okay, let's take a picture. Bye. And like, I don't know how they know. It's like they know when you really like a character and they know when to
Yeah.
like elongate your interaction. Oh my God, it was beautiful. It was one of the most incredible memories I have at
And
Disney World
all
now.
and just like the other funny factor was like Scott's best man is like, what is this? So like we have the
He was
CM
so
laughing, Peter Pan
confused.
confused, and Dylan beyond confused.
Dylan was just like standing there and he wasn't even going to join the picture. And then Peter Pan was like, well, why don't we have this, like, what did he call him? Like, lost boy or like pirate
Yeah.
or something like that. He was like, why don't we have this, like, guy join us too? We're like, yeah, Dylan, come take the picture. So, like, we all took a picture together. But poor Dylan was just like so lost in the sauce about it all. Oh my God.
It was so
Oh,
funny.
incredible. Anyway,
Speaking
well,
of
since we were
speaking of spooky dust, fangirling.
what's wrong with you?
Segways.
Oh my God. I was just gonna say, speaking of my absolute insane infatuation with Peter Pan, but anyway,
Rocks. No.
Pookie dust. Fangirling. All right. Allison and I want to tell you guys all about what brought our friendship together in the first place, basically, which was One Direction and Big Time Rush.
One Direction, Big Time
And
Rush, The Boys,
the boys,
The Boys.
the only boys. So, oh my
It
God, where do
was,
we even start with this?
dude, I don't even know. There's so much to unpack. It's
There
like
really
walking
is.
into like Versailles and they're like, okay, go to the first room you want to go to. And you're like, I don't know.
You know,
I also have never been to
the
Versailles.
stairs.
The
Me
stairs.
neither, but the stairs. Um, yeah. So Allison and I initially met. I think we may have talked about this briefly. We met in high school, and the way we met was we were both doing our school musical, and friends like my friend introduced me to your friend, and then your friend introduced me to you because I told her that I was really into Big Time Rush. And apparently you had liked them too. And I had never met another human being like in real life that liked Big Time Rush because we were in high school. Like liking Nickelodeon TV shows was not cool anymore. And so finding someone that was also into these like four teenage slash adult men was like so exciting for me.
No, it's so true.
Like,
But like I was such a fangirl of like different bands, so it started with like I'm sure it was the same exact thing for you. Jonas Brothers.
like that was the
Then it
first
went right
band that
into
I
Justin
really got
Bieber.
into. Yeah. No, like Big Time Rush was the first band I really got into, but like I liked the Jonas Brothers music and I liked a lot of like the Disney TV show stuff anyway. But then it was like I remember the day so vividly. Like I was sitting and watching, it must have been like iCarly or something, and there was an ad, it was November 21st or 27th,
This
I
sounds so
believe.
vivid.
I remember so vividly. And I was sitting and we were watching the commercial lineups and they were announcing the show for Big Time Rush. And I remember seeing like Kendall James, Carlos Logan, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I need to know
I
everything about
need
them, like
it.
right now. But that was like my thing. And so it's like to me, when I told all my friends about it in eighth grade, they used to like make fun of me and like a friend way where it's like, they still like you and care about you, but some of them were like gut punches. But like it was something where I would like talk about it to people and I would like write my little fan fictions and everything, right? But like no one else was into it. I made people pick their favorites. I would show them pictures and I had a tally list of who everyone liked the most out of my friend group. And like I think it was mostly James, if we're like,
I
like
was
come
about to
on.
say it was
But
probably mostly James.
it was probably James. But yeah, it was like no one else like got it on the same level. So when I found out that there was a girl in my school who also liked this group, I'm like, we have to be friends. I need to make this happen because I need someone to talk about this stuff with. So her friend brings me over. I think we're like sitting down or something. And I was like, oh my God, you like Big Time Rush? And we're like, yeah. And like we're talking about it. And then I'm like, do you know One Direction? Because like What Makes You Beautiful had just come out. We're like, I'm like, you have to like hear this. She's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, like we're gonna get into One Direction too. I'm making it happen. You go from here because you know this part better than I do.
So I'll never forget. She pulls up the picture, and she's like, "This is One Direction. This one's this one. This one's this one. Like this is Harry. This is Zayn. This is Liam. This is blah blah blah." She's like, "Which one do you like?" I'm like, "I don't know. I kind of like." She's like, "But not Louis." And I was like, "Okay, okay. I like this one." No, it was Harry. You were like, "No, not Harry," but then you switched to Louis.
Got
You
you.
like
Yeah,
like like a week later.
I remember I saw a picture, like Harry Styles was the reason I got into One Direction because I saw a picture of Harry Styles wearing like a nice jacket and walking outside in the winter or something, and I was like, ooh, who's that? And then I was like, okay, then I got into the One Direction thing, but then I saw Louis,
Yeah.
and then everything changed.
But like it was so funny because I'm the exact same way. Like if somebody was like, "Oh,
Hmm.
I kind of like him," be like, "That one's not available. That's
Yeah.
incorrect." Um,
That's a wrong answer.
that's the wrong answer. I'm gonna punch you. No,
Yeah,
violence.
literally.
But like I remember it so vividly of like you were showing me we're like sitting like in the theater seats and I was like, okay, like I like this one and like it was Niall and like it just started. Like and we would message each
Yeah.
other on Facebook at night.
Because that was the only way we could communicate. Like there was no,
There was Skype and
oh,
there was Facebook at the time.
there goes my AirPod. Yeah, I know that for us, it was like we only really had the option of Facebook because I had
Mhm.
an iPod Touch that I would message on because I didn't have a phone at that time. Or like if I did, it was one of the little like Nokia pay as you go phones. Like this was
I
like
had the slidey one.
early 2010s. Yeah. So I would have to like message her on Facebook and I'd be like, oh my God, Allison, like One Direction. I love Louis. He's so hot. Blah, blah, blah. We're not going to talk about anything else that we messaged about. But we used to say things like that to each other. We used to pretend that they would, like, they were our imaginary friends and they were in the room with us. So we would talk about, like, you're grounded. Go sit in the corner. Like, what?
Oh
I'm
my god,
so
it was
sorry.
unhinged. It was like you'll never
We were
guess what Niall
15
did for
and
me today.
14.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay. I
Oh my
was like,
God.
you'll never
15
guess
and
what
14
Niall did
years
for me
old.
today. He admitted me to an insane asylum. Like, jeez. like,
I don't think we went that far, but thank God.
no, I feel like that's what Niall
Like
should have done in that situation.
it was so weird, dude. Oh my
It was
God. Like
bad.
we said the
We
craziest
were
things to each other.
so then like our obsession grows. We go to this concert, and that's like where our friendship like
We
really starts.
we literally only had been friends for maybe
Oh, I also
three
want to
weeks.
say that like
Yeah.
we liked One Direction just before it was popular, just before
Yes.
they blew up. So we were like,
Yes.
it was like a little secret for a while. Like no one knew what we were
Yeah.
talking about. They're like, what the heck is One Direction? Like
Right.
it was just after X Factor.
Yeah. Like X Factor finished. It was they were on X Factor in 2010. And so early 2011. This was like February 2011. What Makes You Beautiful came out. I think it was like right in February or March. I think
I would say like
February.
3 or 4 months later, then like all of a sudden it hit like that popularity, that fan, like everybody knowing who they were. So we had like 3 to 4 months where
Oh,
everyone was like, what?
wait, I'm so sorry. I'm so incredibly wrong. This wait a minute. Whoa, wait. When? This feels wrong.
I thought X Factor was 2011 or 2012.
Okay, no. So they were X Factor 2011 or 2010 into 2011, I think. And then, okay, oh my God, I can't believe I just forgot the years. So this was 2012 then. So it says Valentine's Day 2012 is when it came out in the US, but it came out in September 2011 in Europe, Australia, New Zealand. So that's why I'd already heard the song before it was released in the US.
Yeah.
So by the time you and I had become friends, the song was released like internationally, but not in the United States. So when it released in the United States is when we could download it onto our
Yeah, I
devices.
was gonna say, like, when we
But I
first
think I
found
showed
them,
you like
it
on
was only on
Tumblr or
Tumblr.
something. Yeah.
Yep.
I showed you the audio file from Tumblr. That was it. And then like international fans who were already fans of One Direction knew about the song, but it was just becoming a thing in the US.
Dude,
So
we
we
should
were
have been
friends.
tweeting and DMing them all the time. We probably had a chance for them to talk
I
to
know.
us.
I know. So we were friends for probably like 3, 4 weeks maximum. maximum. And probably around like week 2 or 3, I tell Allison that I'm going to a Big Time Rush and One Direction concert. My dad bought me the tickets and he would have gone with me, but I asked my parents if I could invite a friend because the only other concert I ever went to before that was a Big Time Rush concert. And my dad went with me, and it was great. We had a fabulous time together. It was actually at the music venue that I worked at afterwards. So there was a music venue in New Hampshire called Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom. Love you guys. And I went to go see Big Time Rush there in 2011. And then they were doing a bigger tour in arenas afterwards. But the music venue I saw them in 2011, I ended up working there starting like 20, maybe like 2015, 2016 or something. And then I had worked there for like 4 years. It was wild. Like my bosses would tell me about them remembering Big Time Rush like coming to the venue, and I was like, but anyway, so I wanted to go see them on their next tour. My dad got me tickets. I think it was like a present for Christmas or something. And then I was just like, I really want to invite a friend. And I knew at this point I could ask Allison because we were friends. We talked about this stuff. And I was like, can I invite Allison? They were like, yeah, sure. And so
Oh,
that
I
was probably one of the
also
first
need to
times
preface this
that
that
my parents met you too.
our parents knew each other and they knew of us because Liz and I were in Girl Scouts together. We weren't friends, but like they've known each other since we were like 5 to 6 years old. Maybe
Yeah, like
7.
my mom probably knew your mom because your mom
Yeah,
also worked at our elementary school. And we were in like the same town growing up. It's like we were
right.
in the same community. So there was a reason they would know each other. But we were also in Girl Scouts when we were in like elementary school. And therefore we were like probably interacting with each other at some point, but just don't recollect it. Never really
Right.
like got along or anything. But yeah, so like I invited her to this concert. We went to go see them and like my dad drove us. And I remember just like us getting out of the car and my dad being like, okay, go have fun. We're like running into this music venue, like, like so
We're
excited.
like
We're like
telling some
going to the
people in
merch
line,
booth.
but we're telling some people in line about One Direction, but then other people were also like
Yeah.
only there for One Direction.
Yeah. So we like went to the merch booth. We got like all of our little One Direction shirts and stuff. We got Big Time Rush as well, I believe. And this was awful. I remember when I was getting the tickets with my dad, he had gotten like third row of like the furthest back sections. And I was like, no, that's not good enough. We can get better. And I made him refresh. And then we got second to last row of that same section. And I was like, I didn't realize how quick these tickets were gonna sell. And like, I thought we were gonna like be able to pay for really good seats because at this point I was like, I'm not settling for less. I want the best of the best. And then I got like the worst of the worst. But like, I was so upset when we got to the venue, but we like sat in our seats. And then was there an opening act before One Direction? I
I don't
forget.
think so.
Maybe not. Um, so One Direction comes out, and I'm like basically saying to Allison, I'm like, there's no way we're staying in these seats for One Direction. Like, we're gonna move closer because some of the seats were empty. Some people didn't know who One Direction was. If it was like really little girls who like would watch the Big Time Rush TV show, like them and their parents didn't know One Direction, they would skip it and go eat or hang outside or whatever, right? And so we saw these open seats a few rows down. We're like, let's go down there and like sit there to watch One Direction. And then when they're over, if the people come like later on for Big Time Rush, we'll go back to our own seats. So we went down for the One Direction set. I'm so embarrassed by how I acted at this concert. They're singing a cover Kings of Leon, Use Somebody, and I'm filming every single song that they're singing. Like everything is still saved to my laptop to this day. But they're singing this song, and Louis starts singing, and I shout the most vulgar, like,
Oh
just, I'm like, and at the top of my lungs, no less. And Allison recalls this part where a father is standing in front of us. Yeah. And he turns around and gives me the fattest stink eye because his young daughter is sitting there with him. And I just shouted atrocities at like a teenage boy who can't even hear me on stage. I'm like, oh my God. And he hated us for the rest of the night. So I think the people come back to their seats at the end of the One Direction set. So we have to go back up to ours. Then the lights go back on. We wait for Big Time Rush. Big Time Rush comes on and they play one of their songs called Invisible. And the minute the first chord strikes, full tears just sobbing down my face. And I'm just like staring at Allison and I'm like crying to her. She's comforting me. It was such a special moment in our friendship. And from that initial moment of that song playing, like we were going to be inseparable.
Yeah, there was just something
All
about it
because,
because we were just psycho together, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah. And it
Like
was
it made no
such a
sense to
beautiful
anyone else
moment.
but us. And I was like, of
Yeah,
course
but it
she's
was so
crying.
beautiful. Yeah, of course I was crying. So, so yeah, that was our first ever concert together. And after that, we would go to like every Big Time Rush One Direction concert together. Like anytime a tour was announced, we made sure we were booked and ready to go. We saw Big
Actually,
Time Rush together like how many times?
three?
It must have been three, maybe four. Probably three, because there was that
I've
first
seen them
one we saw
four,
together.
but you weren't with me the last time.
So then I would have saw them four, but we would have seen three because we saw
Yeah.
their tour with One Direction. We saw the tour after One Direction. It was Cody Simpson opened up for them
Yep.
and Leon Thomas, I think.
Yeah.
And then that was the one for your birthday
Oh my,
where we rode in the limo.
this is my favorite story to explain how much I love Liz.
Yeah.
So my mom is like, "All right, what do you want to do for your birthday?" And I'm like, "Well, I want to go to this Big Time Rush concert." I don't know if it was, I don't even think it was around my birthday. Was it? Was it in August?
It was near-ish your
Oh,
birthday. It was
it
either
was
like
the
July
summer
or August or September.
because Windows
Yeah.
Down was like their big song. So, okay.
Yeah, they
So,
had just released that.
so my mom's like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "Well, I want to get a limo and I want to go to this concert." She's like, "Okay."
Because we
So,
would have gone to it either way.
yeah. So we got like some of our friends together and it was like a thing.
Hmm.
And I wanted everyone to wear a shirt that said Liz for Worldwide Girl, which is where Big Time Rush brings up like four girls onto the stage to serenade. And so it's my
Yeah.
birthday, and I insist that everyone wear a shirt that says Liz for Worldwide Girl. Liz and I spent hours making posters that say Liz for Worldwide Girl.
Hmm.
And we get in the limo, we go to Pizza Hut, which was very funny, and then we go to
Oh
this
my God, that was so good. I forgot about that.
yeah, because I remember the waitresses were like, "We've never seen a limo pull up here because we're Pizza Hut." And I was like, "This is the best restaurant on earth." I was like, "What do you mean? Like, people don't just pull up in limos here? What are you talking about? This is the best
Who else
restaurant
doesn't
that
love
ever
Pizza Hut
exists."
breadsticks?
I was like, "This should have 3 stars Michelin. Like, I don't know why it doesn't."
Oh my God.
And
Oh my
so
goodness.
we like
Oh, it
go
was
to
so
this
good.
concert And the entire time we're trying to get Liz to be worldwide girl for my birthday party. And like I
Yeah,
wouldn't have it any other way. My theme was Liz for
I
worldwide girl.
know.
Like
Yeah.
it needed to happen. And that's how you
But what
know
was
that I love
wild,
Liz.
yeah, but what was wild was like there was a point in their show where they would come off the stage and walk around the venue. It was like an arena-sized venue. And they would walk around and like wave hi to fans or like take pictures with them if they were on the floor. And we had like actually pretty decent seats this time around. Like we were still like in the stands, but we were close enough to the floor where you could see our faces and like see like how we would interact. And I remember James walked by and we were holding up all of our posters. And I think you may have wrote like James pick me for Worldwide Girl or something. Like I think the posters were a little bit different, but the shirts were all the same. But like
And they were black
he
with that
like
neon paint.
remembered, I know, but he like pointed to your signs and like waved or something. And just like, oh my God, like I remember that being a huge moment for us. That was
Yeah.
like one of the first times an artist had interacted with us. We were going feral about it. And spoiler
And
alert, I was not the worldwide girl.
we tweeted, we wrote shirts, we had posters,
We
and
did
it was my
literally
birthday.
everything.
And then they
We
bring
did
up,
literally everything.
I was
But
like,
eventually they started picking like 4 girls, like one for each
yeah.
guy. They used to do only one. And I remember at my first concert, I was so upset that I wasn't picked. And just like my heart was like breaking about it. But like this second one, I was like, we're for sure gonna get it. Like they can't miss these signs. And then it was
Beyond
like,
shocked that we
what are you gonna
didn't.
do?
To this day,
Beyond shocked. Yeah. But that was a fabulous concert. I remember the guy friends you invited were just like completely like dumbfounded, like what the F is
oh
going
my
on? They were
gosh,
just
I
like,
forgot that I had guy friends there.
yeah, you did. And they were like, they had to oddly support the fact that I was supposed to go on stage on your birthday party and be serenaded rather than you. Like, they just
Liz,
went
I
along with it so
completely
easily.
forgot.
I know.
They
It was
they
you
had
and me,
shirts
our friend
too.
EQ. Yeah, our friend EQ, and then I think it was 2 of your guy friends. So there were like 5 of
And
us,
Christy.
right? And Christy. Oh my God, I forgot about that. I can't believe we got Christy.
Because Christy was so excited because Leon talked to her. Like, she was like, hi. And he was like, hi. And she was like, oh.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's wild. Holy moly. Oh my God, that was so much fun. But yeah, so we went to like so many concerts together. We would go to like the One Direction concerts together. I remember we got stuck in traffic going to a One Direction concert, so we missed 5 Seconds of Summer opening, and I was like devastated by it. But then I went to go see One Direction on like the stadium tours, and then I
I
finally
did
got
not go
to
with
see
you to
5
that
Seconds of
one.
Summer. You didn't. And I think it was like a money thing. I think your
Yeah.
parents were like, you've been spending too much money on concerts, so you can't go. And I was like,
Dude,
dang, the one time my
regretting it.
concert buddy falls through.
And you
I
had
know, it was a really
floor.
good concert. I had floor. I had floor seats, even if it was the last row, but I had floor seats. And it was like the first time it was my last year of high school too. I remember that. And yeah, and do you remember the bandana project where you wore a different color for each member of One Direction? So I wore blue because I think it was Louis's color and green was Harry's, but I wore blue for Louis and I had the bandana, I had the little shirt and everything. Oh my God, it was so good. But I finally saw Five Sauce live there, and then that was what catapulted me into my obsession with 5 Seconds of Summer. So then I made Allison get into 5 Seconds of Summer with me also, which you weren't per se as into them as much as
No,
the
so
other 2
what
groups.
what happened was we
But I
liked
still
One
made you go to the
Direction.
concerts.
Yeah. So what
Yeah.
happened was I liked One Direction, and then our obsession became bad.
It kind of
Like
died
we
down in
got
like 2013, 2014.
but when it was high, we got posters. And it was like headshots of
Mm-hmm.
them at the concert, one of the concerts that we went to.
Don't do this to me,
I'm
Allison.
gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Oh
The
no.
people need to know how psycho we are.
I
And
can't. I literally
we're
can't.
watching, I think it was the Big Time Rush movie, right? It was like it had come out.
We were watching the Big Time Rush movie where they go to England and they become like international spies and they sing Beatles songs. Like
But One Direction
that wasn't a fever dream.
was like in between talking about it.
Yeah, they had like in between the movie, they had Big Time Rush and One Direction sitting down with each other. This was like after their tour together or like
Yep.
in the middle of their tour together. So they were trying to promote part of the tour of Big Time Rush and One Direction by having them do like little interview clips with each other in between the movie to kind of like promote more of like the UK and One Direction and blah blah blah. And so like we're sitting in your living room and just like on the floor even in
No,
front
we
of the
had
TV.
sleeping bags.
Yeah. And we're holding our pictures, our like what would you call them? Headshot pictures of like Louis and Niall sitting next to
It
each
was like
other,
we were like this.
liking them. And we're just like as we're watching them, like screaming our heads off. Your poor parents must have thought we
Oh
were
my gosh.
actually insane.
And we would like pretend like these headshot things were our boyfriends, and then when it's time
Like
to
they
go
were
to
real.
sleep, we put them on their own pillows and slept next to them.
We slept next to pictures of One
And we
Direction.
would be like good night and like kiss them good night.
We'd kiss the posters goodnight, Allison. But nothing trumps the infamous day. I can't believe I'm going to say this on our podcast. Nothing trumps the infamous day of me marrying my Kendall poster.
You guys, this was the wedding. Like I loved my wedding. My wedding was beautiful. It was wonderful, but it was not this day.
I need you guys to understand we were at an age where we were supposed to be mentally sane in high school, not middle school, not elementary school, high school, where people used to watch TV shows like Degrassi or Friends or
The Secret
whatever
Life of
other
the American
shows.
Teenager.
Secret Life of the American Teenager. They were watching shows about getting pregnant and drinking at parties and doing drugs and living in apartments and being a functioning life adult. Allison and I were in my house what was it? Maybe summer, spring, something like that.
Yeah.
One really nice day outside. I remember it being beautifully sunny. The sky was blue. We were like in my house with our friend EQ. We were up in my room. I made everyone dress slightly formally. Like we were all in like nice outfits. I had prepared a role for everyone.
Wait, was this your junior year and my sophomore year? Yeah.
Probably, because it would have had to be if EQ was involved in this.
Yeah.
I hope EQ doesn't mind that we're telling this story. Oh my God, poor EQ is gonna be like she's gonna have no say
We got a
in the
restraining
things we
order.
talk about. I know. She was quite young though, so for her it was probably a normal
It was like
thing
more
to do at that
normal. She was
age.
middle school.
More normal for her. So EQ had the role of flower girl and I think also a bridesmaid.
No, officiant.
Or was she the priest?
No, she was definitely also the priest. No, she was definitely the priest because I couldn't stop crying, so I don't think I could have been the priest.
When I say that we were messed up in the head, I mean we were messed up in the head. So EQ is the flower girl and the priest. And Allison was my maid of honor. and I was clearly the bride. And we took down one of my Big Time Rush posters with Kendall in it because clearly Kendall was my favorite. Kendall Schmidt, if you are ever going to listen to this, I am so incredibly sorry. I did not know how to function around a real life human male at this age, and I am so incredibly sorry
She's
that
way
you
more
had to be the
normal.
one. I am. I promise. I have a job, a 9 to 5 job. I have a real life boyfriend.
I pay the
I'll
bills.
show
My
you
bills are paid.
sometime. Check my Instagram. You'll see pictures of him. I'm living in an apartment. Like, I'm normal. I promise. So we pull down the poster. I'm holding the poster in my hands as EQ is reading off a printout of a real life Catholic wedding ceremony. We're doing the whole thing. I
I'm
forget if we
crying.
had rings or not that we exchanged. Allison sobbing her eyes out over
I
me
think this
marrying
is
a
the most
poster.
beautiful thing I've seen in my life.
A beautiful wedding. I can't believe I convinced you guys to do this. I'm so shocked.
I don't
I'm
think
not
you had
shocked
to
about
convince me.
EQ. No, EQ, she just went along with everything we did. And God
We'd
bless
be
her
like,
for
EQ, we're
it. But oh
jumping
my
off a
God.
bridge. She'd be like, okay.
So we do the ceremony. You may now kiss the bride. I kiss the poster. We celebrate. And we go downstairs into my kitchen where I had prepared a wedding cake that said in incredibly messy, like gel icing writing, "Well done."
Which is a tweet from Liam Payne from like years and years and years ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wait, that's where that originated?
He tweeted
Oh my
someone and
God.
wrote
I don't know
hashtag
why
congrats you well done because he was like drunk or something.
I thought I came up with that on my own.
No, I think it was Liam Payne because I found other people talking about it.
Oh my God, I'm looking this up right now. Oh no. You know you're a directioner when well done and you know where it came from and why. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a One Direction thing.
Holy moly.
It's like
I
very
can't believe
specific.
I
Like a lot of
forgot
people
about that.
don't remember it. Is it?
Well done to Beyonce. I'm gonna start shaking. This is from 2011, August 29th. So that means my wedding would have happened probably like 2012,
Yeah.
I would assume. And like probably around the same time of year though. Oh
So like
my gosh.
this cake was legendary.
I think it was a confetti cake. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's my favorite type of cake. And so we were like cutting up the cake. My mom would like come into the room. She'd be like, "Oh, like, what's the cake for?" So I'm gonna be like, "Nothing." Like, we
While
literally,
we're
like,
all wearing formal dresses. And I
my
had
mom
clearly just
only
cried.
just found out at Allison's wedding about
Well,
what that cake was about.
because we had made a pact that when we were older and we got married, we would put well done on our wedding cake. So I go to my baker and I'm like, I need this on my cake. And my husband now was like, no, we're not doing that. I'm like, it's in the back and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. This has to go on our wedding cake. I made a pact when I was like 14, 15. I'm like, it has to be on our cake.
Mm-hmm.
So on the back of my wedding cake is a little like paper that says, which it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be written in like frosting, but whatever. That says, congrats, you well done. But of course they spelled it wrong, so it says
Yep.
congrats, I well done. Um,
Yep.
and
Oh
so
my God.
it was like such a legendary thing, like this wedding, that we had to have it on my actual wedding day.
And so Allison and I went to go take pictures with this cake, right? And my mom walks over because my mom knew that
Oh
I
no,
was
no, I
supposed to
got
go
your
in there for
mom and
some.
brought her over.
But my mom knew that there was going to be some like surprise cake thing for both of us because like I think she also saw the schedule. So she brings my mom over. My mom's like, "Okay, let me get a picture of you too." And so like we take the picture and I'm like, "Do you understand what we're taking a picture with?" And like we show her what it says and she's like, "Okay, like no idea."
It's
We're
like,
like,
you guys are
"No, you
weird.
need to understand." And I never thought I was ever going to tell this story to my mom because I'm like, this is going to the grave, kind of. But here we are talking about it on a podcast. And I'm just like, I got married when I was a kid with the official terminology from like an actual website. If EQ was ordained, I would have had been legally married to a poster. Like, oh my God. So that's how into Big Time Rush and One Direction we were. Like, it was unhealthy. We probably could have gone to a mental hospital for it. Um, I remember just sitting in like my health class, imagining One Direction walking through the door and like taking me out of like high school classes. Like it was crazy. And
Oh my God,
so
me too. It was bad.
yeah, yeah.
It
So
was so bad.
eventually I think it was like right after their third album, um, we kind of were not into them as much. We kind of took a break from One
Wait,
Direction for a little bit.
right before this, there's a story.
Oh, okay.
And this
Okay,
is
go
my
ahead.
most embarrassing story.
Oh no.
So I'm in high school. It's my sophomore year. And like this is like our One Direction phase. We have fan fictions. We have the posters that like we in the
We
middle
were
of it.
known. We were known to our fellow classmates as the girls who loved One Direction. I remember being in my math class and I had like the cooler, more popular people turn around in their seats and be like, "Liz, you like One Direction, right?" Like I would wear the
Oh,
shirts to
yeah.
school. We would both wear the shirts to school and people knew. That's what we were known for in high
We
school.
only called each other Mrs. Horn and Mrs. Tomlinson. We wore dog tags with
Yep.
fake anniversaries
Yep.
to our imaginary
I
One
gotta
Direction
find mine.
boyfriends. I have to find mine because I know it's in my attic. I just don't know where in the attic.
Yeah, I know it's in my
But
house somewhere.
in my science class, I had a boy in my class. Ooh, I should probably change his name.
Yeah. Let's call him Oliver.
Okay. His name's Oliver. And so Oliver likes me. I like Oliver just a little bit. Then we like become friends. And then he asks me out to be his girlfriend. Like we had kind of gone on some dates. And I'm like, Oliver, I need to think about it.
Oh no.
Because I
Allison,
seriously
no.
thought that I had a chance with Niall Horan. And I couldn't date someone that I liked because it could interfere with the potential of meeting Niall Horan. So I go to my mom and I'm like, Mom, I need advice. I don't know what to do. I know that if Niall Horan meets me, like, we'd be together. Like, I just know. But, like, this other boy, Oliver, likes me. Mom, like, I don't know what to do. And my mom literally was like, You need a reality check. Go
Oh
date him.
God.
He's a real person. And I remember going to you and you're like, I don't know. Like, this is true. Like, you could just. So
When you just wheezed is everything.
I end up dating Oliver. We dated for a year and a half from my
Mm-hmm.
middle of sophomore year until right before my senior year, which will
Mm-hmm.
be another podcast for about dating history. Um,
Absolutely.
but that's when I started to phase out One Direction because I actually had a real life boyfriend. But right before
Yeah.
then, first off, why did he ever like me when I legitimately thought I was going to marry Niall Horan? Beyond me.
I know.
And
I
also, I
know.
really like that. I'm not joking. I almost said no.
I know. Oh my God, imagine if you had.
It
Yeah, nah, it was intense.
was bad.
So, um we could literally go on about this for hours and hours, and I
It's
feel
true.
like we're at a point where we probably should wrap it up. I want to talk about all the other groups we were into. Maybe we can do it next time.
Yeah,
Um,
because we have some
but
interesting stories.
we have so many. Like I also genuinely thought that like throughout my entire life, I'm like, I am going to be marrying Kendall Schmidt from Big Time Rush. We are going to have like a two-story house together with two children, a dog, a like white picket fence. Like I had planned everything in my brain that I was going to marry this man. And then as I was like phasing out of like Big Time Rush and like after they had broken up, I went to go see Kendall's like own side band in Boston with my dad. And I don't remember if I had invited you or not to that. I probably did. And then maybe there was a reason why you couldn't go, or it was just
I
like,
think I was in
whatever.
college and you weren't.
No, because no, this would have been like 2013, 2014.
Oh, okay.
So it would have been like I would have been in college if anything, but you would have been in school. But I don't know. It might have been like a money thing. It might have been you were
I
busy that
can't
day. Who
remember.
knows? Anyway, my dad and I went to go see the show. It was good. It was like really intimate. There was like not a lot of people there. We were on the floor. It was a good show. And then at the end of the night, my dad was like, "Why don't we go wait by the tour bus and see if we can see Kendall?" And I was like, "Oh my God." Usually I would have been like that, but I was just kind of like, "Yeah, okay." Like kind of nervous because I didn't really know. Like I was phasing out of Big Time Rush. I was just kind of like, "Yeah, okay." And so we waited by the tour bus and Logan came out of the tour bus and like we got to say hi to Logan for like a second, which was weird, but like didn't have a conversation, just said hi as he walked by. And then later, Kendall came out of the venue and like went to walk onto the tour bus. And I went to give him a high five like this, but I ended it in a hand heart where like I wrapped my finger around his hand for a second. And then he's like pulling away and walking up. My dad was trying to like take a picture, video or something. And I remember like after that moment, like I just kind of like looked at my hand for a second. My dad was just like, my dad thought this was the epitome of my life. Like he thought this was like the peak moment for me, right? I just said that because my dad supported my relationship with Kendall while I was like 13 and he was 19. My dad was like, yeah, you guys will be in a relationship. Like that's how crazy I was that even my parents were like low key supporting it just for the sake of trying to be sane about it, right? They're like, we know she's crazy, but like, sure, okay, sweetie, whatever you think. Like, my dad was like, this is like your life's like build up moment. And I just was like, that's it. Really? Like, I don't know what I expected, but I was just like, it didn't feel as special as it should have. And it was kind of depressing after that moment because I was just kind of like, oh, like I didn't have butterflies. I didn't have like fireworks or anything. It was just kind of like, oh, I just met Kendall. And then later on, I found out that he went out drinking or something with like Logan and a couple girls that night. Like as I got older, I learned that they like went out in Boston
Oh
together.
my
And I was like,
gosh.
okay. And here I was, a child, being like, yeah, we'll get married. As he goes and like dates these other girls and gets drunk in Boston.
Oh my God.
And
How
I'm just
could he
like,
do
this
that to
sweet little
you?
girl, like, oh my God, it's wild to me. He's married now too,
Oh, he got married,
which is
married?
mind blowing. Yeah. So I'm just
When?
like, I can't.
Wait, I knew he
Was
was
it
engaged. I
last
didn't know he
year?
got married.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was like last year at some point. But good for him. Yay, Kendall. Happy for you, actually. Like, actually happy for you. I'm not gonna like come after you, I
Wait, when did you
promise.
guys get
But
divorced?
oh yeah. It didn't happen. I guess I gotta file the papers.
Kendall's like, yeah,
But
I can't
anyway.
marry you. Some chick married my poster, and there's some legal things happening.
Imagine. Oh my God. But yeah, I think I've met like 3 out of 4 members of Big Time Rush now because I met James when I studied abroad in London at a concert that he had there. So it was like I just hadn't met Carlos, which not gonna lie, at this point it's probably for the better.
He just
Um,
announced another baby. I think it's his fifth.
I think it's his fourth.
Oh, fourth. Okay.
He has Ocean. I don't remember the name of his little girl, and he has another boy. I forget their names. I just remember Ocean. But yeah, he married the girl from Spy Kids, Alexa Vega. So they're the Vegas now. They put their names together. And I think they still live on a boat, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, anyway, wild how things happen. So got over Big Time Rush, kind of. Nowadays, I'm like, I'm trying to get back into their music again, but it's not the same as when we were kids. Like, it sounds quite different, but the lyrics haven't matured. It's like, it's kind of weird. But
But I gotta admit, they are the best concert I've ever been to. Me and Scott went
they do put on
last
a
year or
fabulous show.
2 years ago at Madison Square Garden. And even he was like, they're really good. He's like, I've never heard them,
Yeah,
but that was really
it's
good.
awesome. They do like all the pyrotechnics. They do the
Yeah.
what
Choreographed
is the
dancing.
dog going crazy outside right now?
Me too,
It
but it's just
stopped.
Charlie.
But oh my God, like that was a whirlwind of a moment in my life for me was fangirling over all of them. And I think it's a reason why I have such a goldfish memory now is because I was so invested that I forgot about everything else that happened in my life. And it's insane. Like, I can't tell you about my childhood because I don't remember any of it.
It's like we stored so much information in place of like memories or like
I
important
know. I'm like,
memories.
oh, like Louis' blood type is blah blah blah, but I can't tell you about my like 7th birthday.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. What? Okay, no, that's crazy. But
I can't
anyway,
tell
all
you
right, let's save the
anything.
rest of it for another time because I think we could make this hours and hours and hours, and we're already like at an hour and a half. So
We're nuts.
yeah.
Okay.
This
We're
is going to be a longer
crazy.
one, but that's fine. I think long podcasts are fun to listen to. So I hope you guys can enjoy it too.
Yeah, so please enjoy our rambling of fangirling and follow our socials. We have
Yes.
the Ghosts and Giggles TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter because it's not
Hmm.
X, it's Twitter. And on TikTok and
Yeah.
Instagram, it's Ghosts and Giggles.
TikTok is Ghosts and Giggles podcasts,
Okay.
and Twitter and Instagram are Ghost, the letter N, Giggles.
Okay. And it's all going to be linked down below on our YouTube also.
Yes.
So you can
In
click
case we made a
there,
mistake.
follow, subscribe, notifications. You know the drill.
Make sure you let us know who your favorite member of One Direction was. And then also let us know who your favorite member of Big Time Rush was. Let us know your favorite songs if you went to any of their concerts. We'd love to read through your stories. If you have any crazy, embarrassing fangirl stories like we just told you, leave them below so we know we're not alone.
We would love to know we're not
Really.
alone.
You're not alone,
Alone.
girl. It's over your shoulder. Like, I got you. I got you, babe. I'll give you that Big Time Rush. I will.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't wait. I didn't think I was gonna go there. Oh my God. All right.
On that
Well, on
note,
that note, check us out on Apple Music and Spotify. Leave us a 5-star review and
like really, that's it. I
wish us
swear.
sanity. Wish us
Yeah.
sanity. Keep us in your prayers.
All right. Liz, I'm gonna
Can't
help Liz
believe.
file some divorce papers, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. All right, signing off, y'all. Stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
Bye.
Bye.